Hello, hello, my friends. It's me, Cynthia, and Marty Balbon, and Azalea. She's off screen. She's sewing. Say hi, Azalea. I'm going to aim the camera at you.
Hi.
Hello. Oops. Hello, hello, my friends. How's everybody today? We are having a relaxing day, filming live from Asheville, North Carolina. What all did everybody get up to today? I'll tell you what I did. I did pretty much nothing but run around with Max. Went to the Asian food store today, to YZ Market. It's one of his favorites. He likes to get what's that drink called? Ramune. Ramune. Oh, maybe get him to make me a drink. At least a soda water. Forgot to bring up one of my 5 beverages. Hello, hello, my friends. Hello, Cecilia. Hello, Melanie. Hello, Robin. Hello, Diane. Yeah. Oh, and Melanie says, and Marty. Hello, everyone. Hello. St. Louis. I was born in Dexter. Oh, hello, gorgeous ladies. Thank you. That's nice. So today, oh, hello, Sheree. Today, I thought we could paint some bronze. I have some bronze pieces that have been waiting for something to do. I was going to use them and make some things, but like finished necklaces. And my personal collection that I set aside for myself is pretty healthy. It's a pretty good amount. But that's just natural. That's what do they say? How do they say it? It's good to be king. And that what they say somewhere, sometimes. Hello, Angela. Yes, so I have my paints ready to go, and I will flip the camera here. I was going to give everyone a few minutes to get here before I flip, and got that ready. Well, I've got it ready as much as much of getting ready as I get. And I have a couple of lots. There's some left that I wanted to show. I'm not going to make earrings. I'm going to give my fingertips a time to heal, because the last time I did, I kept poking my fingertips. It was odd. Oh, Sheree, you sent me a message. Oh, it was that the thing about the lion? It's like they were felting that great big pelt. That was pretty neat. Pretty neat. Oh, hello, Connie. Yes, hello, hello. I have put my felting stuff away for now. Usually it's in the living room, stacked up in tubs. Those great big Rubbermaid tubs? My family, they're used to me taking over the whole house and making it into the craft studio. It's just natural. I mean, if you're going to live there, why aren't you just making crafts? This cat, he's trying to climb up onto the table. Marty,
He does what he wants.
he just does what he wants.
That's what everything feels.
Well, I got some water to wash my brushes, and he's drinking it. I mean, it's there's no paint in it. That's what's happening now. You guys are wondering what that sound is and what this heavy duty cat is doing. He's drinking my paint water. It's not paint yet. I didn't paint it. That cat, he just does whatever he feels like. So, Sheree says, you've already trained Marty food motivation work. Yeah, it did work. Oh, Avery County. That makes me think of Avery County, NC. What side of the state is that, Mary? Hello, Mary. Hello, Tina. Hello, Pat. Pat says, I think your pieces are collectible. We are investing. Good, because there'll be someday when when we're not making them. I mean, I don't know when that will be, but there'll come a time when it's the last time. Yeah, Sheree says, you got water for Marty. Yeah, I said, Azalea, go fill this container, so that we can have some paint water. And he didn't, I mean, he drank about half of it, so. Oh, Robin has been, where are you sending messages? We have, there has been something happening with my messaging where I've been sending messages and forwarding them to Azalea. And she's been finding them because she's like, I didn't get anything from you. And I'm like, I know I sent it. I know I sent it. So I'll check it and it'll have the arrow that says you have sent the message. So I have a feeling, to which email, Robin? To this, she says, to your email, to this email, and I haven't been getting it. So there must be. So even though I'm telling y'all now to check your spam, I just realized I can't remember the last time I checked my spam. So, Robin, all right, I'm gonna be. I just realized I have not checked the spam folder on my email, or now I'm kind of scared. Like what's going to be in there? Because I have noticed there's a few people saying, "Hey, are you getting my messages or what?" And you know, um, and I'm always like, it's not me, because there's barely ever anything in my spam. Because I'm usually good about check. I'm usually good about, when I say good, I mean like every once in a while I go in there and I check it. Robin, you've been checking yours, so that means it's me. And if it's not, then we'll find another way. So I have a few ways. And you know what? I just realized. So someone, I don't remember who, said they left phone messages. So at some point there might have been phone, like you had to put a phone number for, having a website hosting. I don't know whose phone number, but if my phone ever rings, uh, I don't ever answer
Not
it.
have been yours. If it was anybody's phone number, it
Well,
would have been
sometimes
mine. And stuff goes directly to my spam, and I don't ever answer a phone call that I don't have in my contacts list. If it just is just a number and not somebody I know, I don't answer it.
Yeah, I don't either.
So sorry.
Yeah, so that could be. And also, I've always, I remember a time when, if you guys can believe this, the early 2000s, I ran around the house with one of those headset, and it was plugged, it had like a headband, and I had my phone number on my catalog, and I took orders the old fashioned way. People would call me and leave a message, or not, they wouldn't usually leave a message. I would answer the phone unless it was on a, Robin says, I've never called. Good, because I wouldn't have answered it. I never answer my phone unless I know the person. And even then, I have to, if I'm driving, I don't answer it. If I'm in the bathroom, I don't answer it, because that's just awkward. It just feels weird. I don't, it just is. And, yeah. Oh, Clem, hello, my friend. Hello, hello. So, Robin, it's probably me, and it's probably because I am meticulous with my inbox. Like the one that I get from, I don't know if I see other ones, but I don't know. iCloud, I don't know what all that's about. I'll have Azalea help me look at it. But I check my inbox, and I have like 10 messages there. So it's probably in my spam. All right, I'm gonna flip this camera around and let's get going. Let's do something here. Today is I got a fan on, but it's whisper quiet. Can you hear it? Am I coming in okay? Forgot to ask. Last time we just went and didn't even bother. We were so confident, So,
our audio problems happened one time,
oh,
and that was like a month ago.
Wendy says, I would have pretended I was a secretary answering phones for myself back then. That's smart. I didn't think of it. Gosh, that's smart. Yeah, so I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's good thinking. But I don't want to have a phone. I don't think anybody answers their phone now. Does anybody actually answer their phone?
Messaging an email is just better anyway, because then you have records.
Okay, I see. Sound is good. All right. How about am I pixelated? Do we need to refresh or anything? Any problems? Because I want to take care of it now. I should have asked like the second I got on there, but I didn't think of it. Oh, last week, or maybe it was the week before, I had some chalcedony that was dye, right? It was an aqua, it was a really pretty aqua blue. this is what I thought of. This is Peruvian opal. And this was not a cheap date. And look at this silly, almost laughable. I don't know what I was thinking about when I did this. That's goofy. The reason I say that, not design wise, it's a cool design, but if this gets tugged on, wow, that would have just pulled right out. So don't ever, I made these, this is way younger days, probably 20 years ago, I made this goofy pendant. But I've always loved this stone. This is called Peruvian opal. And you know what? I have to say, I haven't seen this stuff in ages. And that's why I was so excited about that Chalcedony. While I love this Sundance shirt, I got this velvet Sundance shirt. I remember why sometimes I don't wear it. And it's extremely warm. That's why. So I'm going to take it off. There's a pile of clothes that I start my lives with, and then by like 2 minutes later, because these lights are real hot, then that's what happens. They end up they shed layers. So I had a couple questions from some folks asking, hey, can you patina paint the bronze? And I said, of course. And then they're like, well, it's not a cheap date, so I don't want to mess it up. Do you have any videos? And I realized I didn't remember. I might have some. I'm sure I do. But I thought this time we would have some specifically for painting the bronze. So, and this is another thing. So I make some of these coins from bronze clay. And this is just a little, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the differences between the different types of clay. So there used to be a few different types between the metal, silver, copper, white copper, and bronze. And I think white bronze, maybe there's white bronze. Or maybe it's white copper, I don't remember now. But there are two different, there's regular and then there's fast fire. The bronze, it's like the shrink difference in between fast fire and regular bronze clay. So these were made the same way. And this one's actually cast. This is a cast piece that we made because I didn't know if I wanted to make these because they're kind of labor intensive to make bronze clay. Because it's kind of, you get a lot of fail with them because they can get air bubbles on the inside and they can, the surface can be marred in the charcoal chamber that you put it in. So what I did with this was made a wax from it, like I was telling you, from the sheet wax, and then carved in the back. You can see with that sheet wax, it's a little chunky monkey to get those carvings in there. You can see it's a little bit thick, that lettering, but I managed to get the thinness and the feeling of a coin, or the thinness. It's hard to get the castings to be this thin, but I managed with this one because sometimes it just loses the detail. That's the difference. It's like the bronze clay, you can get tight, sharp details because you're getting a direct pull from the mold. And these are a different type of mold. I keep dropping this, getting on my own nerves. Let's set those aside. So anyway, I've got a new clay. Greg ordered it. I have a couple coming. There's one from Poland that has a million colors. I'm pretty excited about it. So hopefully that will be great. I do not want to mess around if it gets, the shrinkage rate is really high. The silver metal clay, man, that stuff shrank a lot. So that was one reason it was kind of annoying to put a lot of time and energy into a piece, and then it would be like miniature when you're finished. It was like kind of like shrinky dinks. So I grabbed a little collection of bronze that was on my desk and Shibuichi, some Shibuichi, I'll separate that out. Some of these are some old designs that have been in my collection for a long time. Like this piece, this has been in there for, I don't even know. This is one of my very first, this particular piece is probably over 30 years old to see right here. And then this is from the same group. And this is so old. It's before I used to do. Look at this. There's nothing on the back except for that little bitty star. I got into carving them because then when they flip over, because everything always flips over. Can you get me a drink, honey?
Yeah.
I'm dying here. My throat is like parched. So let me separate these. Oh, look at this. These are my fish that I used to have when I went through my fish phase. I went through aquarium phase and it's coming back again. I have been cycling a tank. I have one snail in it so far, but I'm going to get some bristlenose placos and a rainbow of freshwater shrimp. Robin says, I love her. Do you still sell her? Oh no. I don't know what happened. No, I don't know. I mean, it's so old. I don't know where. I mean, I could probably mold this one and then doctor it up. I mean, it was probably tumbled, you know. So you don't want to make a mold from this because it's kind of like it's already been tumbled, and that's like making a mold with all the good details wiped off already. Like this, or some that haven't been tumbled either. I had one sitting here, and when you don't tumble it or do anything, oh, here we go. That's a perfect example. This barely has any finishing. I used to make this piece, and it's too hard to get out of the mold. Well, I think the mold broke, so I can't get any more of these unless I made a new mold. Isn't that cute? That's a little toad. Bluefo. Isn't he adorable? I'm going to make a necklace with this. And make a necklace with all frogs. So, there's Koi. Wendy, where are you seeing Koi? And if this one's not Koi. None of these are Koi. This is called a dragon-eyed goldfish. And the one that I had, boy, it was a beautiful fish. I named her Princess Mononoke. And she had a tail. I didn't cast it on this one because it was just too much. It came out, they called it a veil tail. And the tail was like a wedding veil and it flowed out from behind the fish. And she was like a gold with orange spots. I'm going to paint it like that. And this one is called a pearl scale. And they're bred to they kind of look like they have dropsy, you know, when they get sick and they float. Well, that's just a type of goldfish. This is a pearl scale. And they have these shells on their back that have a pebbled surface. They're quite beautiful. Thank you so much.
Kombucha, guava juice, and LaCroix.
Ah, delightful. Thank you. Delightful. That's a good daughter right there. Oh, let me tell y'all. So we're in the Honey Fest. I just got to see the details. It's June 8th if you're going to be around in Asheville. That's a Sunday. And we're going to have a tent. And what else are we going to be doing? I think our friend Hobie, last year, Hobie and his wife Sue plays the marimba, which is a kind of an instrument. I didn't know that was the name of it. It looks like a xylophone, but it's made out of wood. It's pretty cool. That's why I got this out, because I'm going to make a necklace with this. And I bought this I don't know when I bought it. It was a long time ago in Tucson. And it's by the same group. Let me see if I can get some of the detail. This is a mother of pearl piece. And man, I've been saving it, but it's so beautiful. I think they requested for the Honeybee Festival that you have a lot of work that features bees and honey and that type of thing. So I'm going to make this to my showstopper. Look how much iridescence and all the little details. Isn't it so pretty? So we're going to be working on making a bunch of bee-themed things for the next couple weeks. Is it a couple weeks? No, what's today? Oh, no. That's in like a week and a half or so. So it is not exactly 2 weeks. All right. So this is a lid. I use these as my palettes. You know, this just peels right off. Just peels right off. And this paint that I'm going to use, Ultimate Paint, Ultimate Stain. These are from Vintage. You know, I really like, this is the original formula, and they last a long time. So if you're looking at them, you're like, they're kind of expensive. Like I think they average about $5 a piece or something. And they have a little ball on the bottom, like nail polish. Oh, hello, Kathy. Oh, Melanie, I'd love to see if you're around. If we're going to come to the Honeybee Festival, let's see what we're going to paint. I want to find a white because I would like to show, this is bronze, and I usually carry this in pewter on the website, and I want to show how to do a quick way to do the enameling. So I'm going to find white. That's easy. We'll do that one first because I have it sitting there. All right, so we talked about these guys. So that's coming, so that's exciting. I'm excited about that. That bronze clay. Although, I did get another brand that I tested, and it was really brittle. And I really hope that this is not the case, because that stuff was kind of made me feel like I was going crazy. You're like, why is this me or what? Oh, when I found the sample, remember how, I don't know if you remember this, but maybe 2 weeks ago when I was showing this orange kyanite, I was so into it. So into it. Right. It's delightful. Some might say, hey, whoa, that was just my paint ready to slide up onto the floor. I've got what you call layers happening on this desk. There's a little bit of it. It's from one of these brush handles losing the enamel on the outside. But this is a piece of raw orange kyanite. I'll get in there so you can see how pretty this is. So I bought this with the intention of carving it, but as you can see, I did not do that. I carved this way back when. This is a piece. I bought this as a piece of blue Peruvian opal, and I believe this is when I carved. I went through a phase of making this kind of pebble shape, usually pebbled, but it's kind of got flat edges, so I don't know. I bought a lot of Peruvian opal back in the day. You can find it. It seems like now you can't hardly find it anymore. It's like the same with, this is a regular, this is called Wello opal. And I already started grinding away at this piece and chipped it actually. So I didn't finish, like I went through and got all of the white part out. It's this. It was all like, it's not the shiny side. So I dug it out with a pick. And so that's what you're left with. But you know what the sad thing is that all this, unless I carve it very gently, you get a lot of loss. So the actual bead, when it finally comes out, is very small. So the bead that was this size, the piece of the mineral was like this. And I'm very careful. Melanie says that Peruvian opal is gorgeous. It is actually supremely gorgeous. I love it. And I wish I had more of it. And I haven't been able to find it in rough because it's soft. That's the other thing I like about it. It's smooth and soft and like, I think it's a 6 because it really carves easy. Well, easier. I mean, opals are really easy and soft. But anyway, I get this rough and I like to carve it. So that's what this is about. You cannot find, that's why I'm so excited about these guys. What is this? Anyway, we'll just cover this up. There you go. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I don't know if I have any left. So that's the sample. I was looking for a couple weeks ago, and you know where it was? If it was a snake, it would have bit me. It was right by my tools, right like under my favorite tool, where I would not forget it. It was exactly where, after I remembered hiding it for myself, to not hiding it, like. So anyway, that's that. I wanted to show that because it was a beautiful sample of orange kyanite. All right, this, stick it good. Let me see. Oh, hi, Sheree. Oh, I love it. You guys having a meetup in there. Yeah, I don't know. On that Monday, I told my mom, so mom, if you're listening, I am hoping to be able to go on a road trip to see you. It's been a minute. It's probably been 4 or 5 months. So you don't need to get a lot out for this stuff. That's the beauty of it. Now, if you're going to paint something big, which I wouldn't suggest because it's not a cheap date, so you want to make sure you don't want to do a full sculpture with this. There are other easier ways. But I will say, Sherry says you could make a charm set with a bee, a hive, and a honey pot. That's cute. That's an adorable idea. I don't think I'll have time in between now and the 8th, but so I should mention that you wipe this down. I wiped these previously, and because you don't want anything like fingerprints or whatever to make it where the paint won't stick. And also I wiped this brush so that it is not sopping in the wet. It's kind of a dry brush because this melts fast or dries fast, and it also it's kind of pooling a little bit. I might have to add a couple more coats. So in the past, when I've made these little palettes for myself, I used testers enamels. I'm gonna have to do 2 coats because it looks like it's resisting a little bit. And that worked pretty well. Those pieces that I painted a long time ago are still, they look the same. Obviously, if you put it on a keychain, it won't look the same because, you know, all that metal rattling around and hitting it in your pocket, that would not be a good use. I used to make keychains out of my beads. And for a long time, people used to come to the shows, like when I lived in Ohio, and they'd come up to me and they'd show me the keychain. It was kind of funny. And I would like give them a thumbs up and like, look at how long I've had this on here. Just rock on. All right, that's look. This side. Kathy says, love all the charm goodies on your table. Thank you. Tina says, where does your mom live? My mom lives in Orlando. Oh, I was not even on screen. Dang. Where did I put my glasses? That's like a constant thing I say in this house. Where did I put my glasses? You get this big jug of juice at Costco. Yes, I drive to Greenville to get that. Well, not only for that. There's a coconut ginger tea I really like at this Asian food store, so I make a day of it. I'll go get passion fruit juice. I hope they never, ever stop making it. You know, I like the guava, but I am on fire with love for the passion fruit. I want all the passion fruit flavored everything. So I'm going to give this, you know, this is kind of testing my patience to do this little bit right here. Because I want it to be done already, because I want to paint something fun and not this white interior. I want to move on to the next thing. But it looks good. And sometimes you need to have a little bit of a white layer because, you know, the first ones I made, they they were not painted, and I just went ahead and put the paint in. And it was okay. The paint can, you know, if you put it in plastic or whatever, it can flake off because it's not meant to stick to metal. I mean, watercolor is not meant to stick to, it's meant to stick to paper. So you don't want to put too much in there or leave it where it's like a big, you know, like heaping mountain and it pops out. So hopefully painting the inside will make it stick in there a little bit better because it doesn't on bare metal as well. I sprayed a few of them with enamels, metal paint, and I stripped it down with a wet nap. It has some alcohol in it. And it'll make the surface a little bit easier to paint. See, in a couple places, you see how it's kind of resisting a little bit. That might have been where I was touching it because any kind of paint on your hands will make it so that, or I say paint, but I should say like
The oil on your
the oil. Say you were eating some Doritos previous to the moment at hand, like you were like getting a chip. So if you were doing that and that oil from that chip got in there, then it's gonna resist the paint. Oh, I never eat and snack while I'm painting. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. You know what? I am so guilty of eating and snacking and drinking beverages while I'm working that I bought these little Azalea, what were those things called? Snack and tongs? They had a goofy name, something like that. Snack and tongs, and they're little plastic like, I mean, I can use chopsticks, but I liked the idea of these little tongs. And then it occurred to me I could go next level because I love those snacking tongs so much. I was like, why don't I just get little tongs that are like really fancy? Because they make them for pickles. Well, they don't make them. They were made. They're not made now. So I guess there's really a market for fancy pickle prongs, tongs. Azalea, don't make me feel goofy.
Well,
She's like, well,
that's the second food related conversation in the past like 15 minutes.
is it though?
Yes.
No, that was beverage. What I was talking about. That was
Oh.
beverage. Sherry says, gorgeous Peruvian opal. Thank you. Yeah, it's good times. Yeah, it's jelly-like. You know, a lot of times you'll see it and it's a little on the opaque side or like cloudy. Oh, here's a piece. So this is blue chalcedony. Look at the color. See, this is why people like it. It's close, but it's not like this. Wendy says that sounds like a recipe for disaster with the Doritos or Cheetos. Yeah, you know what? I've drunk plenty of my paint water. Not on purpose, but like I like a straw. I don't know why I like a straw. I just do. And so sometimes I also put paint brushes like this. I try not to ever leave them, because that's bad. So, oh, Pat says, now I know what those little tongs are for. I got another pair right here. They're pickle tongs from Victorian times, so you could elegantly grab that olive if you were going to grab an olive.
I'll let you have that just on hand.
I do. There's several, actually. If you were to look, if you could unearth, I don't want to make it sound like my desk is a mess, but I think we all know that this is the clean part right here. And that's like all my desk. It's like there's like a 12 by 12 square of the clean part. I'm going to let this sit a minute because I'm getting bored painting these little things. And you need to go in with a couple of coats of white. Because look how kind of, I don't love that story with it modeled like that. Yeah, it's no bueno. You know what I might do? I don't know why I didn't think of this. I could have done, maybe if I sanded the inside and made it gritty, I could have gone in with UV resin, but white. I could still do that. Maybe. We'll see. So let me see. Which one of these do we want to paint first? Let's see. What do we want to see? Let's do one of these. I got it right here. And let's do, what color should I make him? Azalea? Frog. Little frog. I'm gonna need some black for his eyes. I'm gonna paint those first, even though that's what I usually save that for last.
Make him bright yellow and with like purple or orange spots.
That doesn't sound like a real frog, though.
There's totally frogs on it.
Are you sure?
No, but they should look like.
All right, I don't know about that. That's a cute idea, but
Don't ask me.
she said, "Do you hear how she does?" She said, "Don't ask me." Well, she said something that goes against nature.
No,
That's like an AI frog.
What about those frogs that are like they're the bright colored poisonous ones you see at those pet stores?
I'm looking for a true red. I don't know why I was looking for a true red because well, here you go. I got on Wendy a little. Not got on. Got on is the wrong word. It was more like I was like, Wendy, when are you gonna do just a mixing palette? None of these mixes.
That specify Wendy because there's several.
Wendy, not Wendy Roman. The Wendy from Vintage. Wendy. Of course, I can see her last name in my mind, but my mouth is not forming the word. Has that ever happened to anybody else? You could see it as written on a chalkboard in your head. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this red because I was just thinking I saw this tomato frog. It's gonna be kind of a little bit like yellow. I got the yellow out. But the shape of it kind of reminds me of a tomato frog. Oh, I see some people also have, I don't want to call it a messy desk. It's not really messy because things are in that vicinity. But let's see. So I got this red and I got this yellow, and I'm looking to make a tomato color, like a nice kind of vermilion, I guess. And I'm gonna show you right now. I just loaded that up, but I shouldn't have. So I got a wet nap. Hopefully this is not the kind that has lotion, because that's not the kind you want. Let me give it a wipe. Just to avoid. Hope now, I'm gonna just do one. Actually, I'll do another one. We'll just see. That's pretty shiny. I keep these next to my desk in case I'm doing polymer clay, because polymer clay will pick up the slightest lint. So if you're like doing doll making and you want to keep it where you're not getting that kind of look of that kind of, if you look under magnification, you can see that it's a type of lint. Those fibers come from denim a lot of the time. So if I know I'm going to be painting or carving with polymer clay, I will wear like neutral colors. Okay, let's give them a quick coat of this red. And this is on a bronze piece. It's kind of like a little. Diane says it's not messy, just lots of inspiration everywhere. I'm with you. That's what I think. I do like a very tidy desk, though. I like to sit at them, like the hotel or Airbnb, or you go somewhere it's not your desk. And then within minutes, I make it my own because I bring like all of my stuff. Joanne and I, the other day, we went to this place called Troyer's, and it's a like an Amish deli, and they had these little teeny homes. It's like a sample. You could go inside it, and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome! Wouldn't that be great?" And we were both like, we stood up, we got up to the top, and we sat in there at the top and looked around. And I was like, you know what? To be real, I don't believe I could manage just my felting stuff. I was like, just my felting. None of my fabric. I mean, maybe like 2 or 3 boxes, but I was like, where do they put all their stuff? Wendy says I have to figure out what to put on my desk to keep the cats off. Ugh, I don't like it when the cats jump on my things. It makes me crazy. I don't like that story. So I have a little bit left over of this yellow. I'm going to make a little bit of kind of a lighter, kind of a like my mid-tone. And I'm going to just kind of easily, be nice if I had a flat. Because I'm going to just dust it across the surface. Highlighting. But really, I don't know why I'm bothering with this, because I'm going to go over it with a little bit of a light sandpaper and give it a little once over with that sanding block, because you know what? They're going to get dinged up. And unless you go over it with a lot of sealant, like this piece, I sealed it pretty heavily. Sorry. Some say you should use gloves. You can use gloves. Oh, foil. They hate foil. Oh, yeah. A friend of mine, she would put a shower curtain on her bed because it's at nighttime, the cats would get on her bed and like use it like a litter box. And I was like, well, just close the door. But of course, they would cry if they were not let in. So that was the solution. And I guess they didn't get on the shower curtain. So that's something you could try. All right, so this one's probably done. Where's that little sanding sponge? It's sitting right here. Let's famous thing that I often say is sitting right here. I got a fan. Greg got me a new fan because he heard the one up here. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's very quiet. All right. I don't know what happened to the sanding sponge. We'll do it later. Oh no, I see it on my other desk. I have several. Okay, so you can get these at Sally's Beauty Supply, but this one's from Vintage. I've had the same one, so you know they last a long time. These are the kind of sanding sponges that you use on your nails. It has the coarse, medium, and fine, but it's all feels kind of fine by now because they've all become kind of worn smooth. And so what this does is it kind of takes off a little bit of the paint, so it kind of highlights it. Kind of shows the details. So I didn't make this one yellow azalea. It was already kind of yellow. I was painting bronze.
You made it what color?
Tomato frog color.
Nice.
And you can see the highlights on bronze. You get the bronze. So this is more like painting a bronze statue. Melanie says, my house, it's golden retriever tumbleweeds. Ugh, I know that. I know that feeling. Oh. Diane says, an idea for keeping cats off: clear carpet runners with spikes on back, put on an area with spikes up. Works great on quilting stuff. Oh, because they won't step on it? You know, I tried to do that with like this bubble wrap, and then they got on the bubble wrap and was promptly, it was my felting bubble wrap. You know how you need that for what felting? All right, look at that, how cute that came out. That with the bronze. So if you sealed this, you would get a nice, like, it would just stay that way for a really long time. You could save it in your pocket. I'm going to get the black for his eyes. What's this? Pyrite. Or it's probably dark brown. I don't want a dark brown. That's kind of thing. There we go. It's supposed to rain tonight. And it's been weirdly cool. You know, it's like 60 degrees outside. I was surprised, but then I was happy because, you know, up here in the studio, it's like an oven because it's an attic studio. So I'm going to paint the little eyes. It'll give it life. You'll see. It's really cute. I was looking over. I was like, is that my opera visors? I take my glasses with me all around the house, but what happens is they end up in one spot, usually not where I am. I am forever hunting my glasses, even when I have them like, it's like I just need them like bolted to my head. What's an acceptable, like that thing that Johnny Depp wears in that movie? What's that movie where he's with Christina Ricci? Okay, I'm doing this without my glasses on. I think it's pretty good without what I can see. It looks like I'm within the lines of his eyelids. If I'm not, then I can go and paint or sand to fix them. But you know what I'm going to do is I use UV resin to do their eyes because it makes them glint. And it takes just a second. So I'm going to make these for the Honey Festival. I don't know if people will want them, but I made a bunch of them. And by when I say I made a bunch of them, what I should say is Azalea and Greg made a bunch of them after I asked them to make them. So that kind of means that I made. Right, Azalea? Wouldn't you say that that's kind of like the same thing?
Sure.
Chocolat? No, not that. Not that Sleepy Hollow, the one with Christina Ricci. You're thinking of the one with Juliette Binoche. You know, Azalea. You kind of look a little bit like Juliette Binoche, I think.
That's generous.
That's well, you have a really perfect and beautiful face.
I don't think not like her.
No, well, of course. I mean, you're seeing people when they're on the movies, you know, they put a lot of creams so that you don't see their zits and stuff, but they all have, nobody's just naturally like babies. Do we have any more white? I think I'm out. Dried up. Chocolat is a cool movie, but it's not the one I'm talking about. It's Sleepy Hollow. But it's kind of, it's, if you haven't seen it, there's a lot of blood. Oops, excuse me. All right, which one am I going to paint next? Which one? Which one? Let's do this pearl skull. I have some of this orange over here. It's going to be adorable. So look how fast it dries up. That's like instantly. I'm going to get a little bit more yellow. You don't want to put too much water with these kinds of paints. Now, if I dipped my brush into the water and tried to go in, what you end up doing is making a paint that doesn't have very good staying power. Oh, this looks so good with the extra bit of color. I love it. So if you needed to, you just need to get more paint. That's the solution to that. Just get a little bit more. Or if you wanted to have a watercolory effect, just get the glazes. It's this. We'll use those in a sec. Trying to pick up any of the rest remaining red that might be uncured. Now you can put these in the oven for, I believe it is like 275. I'll look at the jar here in a sec. And it's a good way to set them. I use my polymer oven. And the polymer oven is good because then you don't have to worry about, hey, is this gonna, off gas in my food? You don't have to worry about that. And this one would be a good one to try to get, I'm gonna get a little bit of water just to see, just to illustrate. So it broke it down. I just touched the surface, but I'll have to make sure I go over. I'm just filling in because I don't want the, I don't want it to, I don't just want the top, the raised areas to get the paint. I want it to be in the cracks because I'm going to go over with that little sanding sponge. The ideal is to get like this middle value that I'm using. This so light, but it's still not super bright. It's not brighter than the raw color of bronze. So I'm just going to let that sit a minute. And then that'll be really cute with another, I could even glaze this. That's a fun technique, and I'll show that in a second. Kathy says, oh, just darling. I played with a little red frog a long, long time ago. Oh, that sounds cute. Where'd that take place? I want to see some red frog. Sounds like Australia with its tomato flood. Oh, Clem says, Sleepy Hollow is the town where I was born. That's a neat fact. I bet they have a Sleepy Hollow festival in that town. I would bet that. I love the little town, small town festivals. I just love them. Azalea and I like to go. There's an apple festival in Hendersonville that we go to every year. We should sign up for that show.
Fine.
Some of their shows, those bigger ones, they sell the vendor booths. They sell it really fast. So this, let me see. Is it ready? We'll give it another minute. Okay. What else? I kind of hesitate to do this mermaid, but I kind of want to. I wonder if I have the mold for this. Yeah, I can always recarve it. Let's do you know what? What would be perfect on this? I'm going to wipe it down. Wendy says, adorable fish and frog collection. I've never seen any frogs other than green. That sounds cute. Well, no, it's not cute. You know, in Atlanta, you know what, Wendy, when I was in Atlanta a couple years ago, we went to the botanical garden and there was in the middle of this flower or leaf patch, there was a pale white gray frog. It was really flat. I can't even believe I saw it. I was like, oh, you serious?
I think I remember that.
It was so cool. So I'm going to make a verdigris finish because that's what you would expect on this kind of aged bronze. Now, real verdigris is a chemical reaction. And what it's doing is disintegrating the surface of the metal. So you kind of, you know, you don't really want that to be, you don't really want that verdigris because it's chewing up up the metal. And when you remove it, you get pits. And if you're wondering how I know, I did a verdigris finish on a bunch of my pieces a long time ago, but I never stopped the process. And you stop the process by sealing it. Tina says, do you remember which was your very first figurine you did? Yes, I made in like kind of this angel looking person with black hair and bat wings for my aunt. She got me my first box of white Sculpey, and I made this angel kind of like it's like this big, and it was based on a character from this book. It was Tanya Lee. I don't remember now. Tanya Huff. There it is. Tanya Huff. I think it was the Dark Angel trilogy. It was a big fantasy. You know, that's kind of that green. What was I going to pick? I was going to do verdigris. That's not really the color I want. I want more of a blue green. Let's see if this one, deep turquoise. They called that malachite. I don't know if I've ever seen malachite that color. If I were going gemstone, I would say that that's more of an olivine. Wouldn't you say olivine? Malachite, I think, is more like.
This is like,
Yeah, like a dark green. All right, I think we'll be able to get a good looking verdigris. Yes. So in this case, I am going to do what I just told you that you do not want to do, and that's water it down. I'm going to water it down with, what's this say? Oh, gold. I don't want gold. I just want sealant. Boy, they make it so you can't, like, what's this one? I don't know. This is one, there's a sealant here. What's this sealant? This is one I mixed from a couple different Europeans. I'm going to make from this clean spot, I'm going to try and make a nice verdigris color. And I think of that color as being kind of a dusty, sort of blue-green. I'm going to leave these two not completely mixed. I'm going to grab a little bit more of the clear. Shoot. I'm going to take a little bit off. And I'm going to go into the cracks. So I'm going to do a little bit of watering it down, even though I just advised not to. The reason is I want it to go in the cracks and I want to be able to wipe it off really fast. I don't really care if this has a really strong adherence to the inside or if it really latches on and makes it a nice durable coat, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe most of it off. And it's going to be in the recessed areas only. That's what I want. I don't want this to be like a thick coating for the outer shell, because I'm going to try and mold this. So I'm going to go for the lightest coating possible. And if it doesn't stay on, and if I can take it off with the brush, maybe even with watering it down a hair, it's still going to be, if you try to remove it, it's still going to be kind of a hassle. So a lot of it off. And the best part is this is not going to get a chewed up finish where it's actually being broken down, because that's what ultimately is happening. The verdigris is a process of like rain and minerals beating down on the surface of a bronze statue, and eventually it'll wear away because as the verdigris eats through the metal, it just washes away. So, that's why in time you see, I mean, it takes a really long time, but if the air is kind of polluted, I guess. So there's no nice way of saying it, but if it's kind of polluted, then the reaction will happen faster. So that's with the slightest hint of green in there. And I watered that down with some sealant, clear sealant, the kind of a matte finish, and a little bit of the blue and the green. And I got a drop of water in there to loosen everything up. So this is not the most durable finish. This is going to be the least durable of all the finishes I've shown you. But with that said, if you wanted to, you could spray it, or you could put another layer of this clear, and you could make that last a long time. So while this, if you left it alone, is not durable, adding another layer would make it durable. And you wouldn't be doing a chemical reaction that's kind of, slowly working down the metal itself. And I will say too that it's not a controlled patina. If you just leave it and you don't put any kind of beeswax to stop a verdigris, which you get from, I think you use ammonia. I don't remember the recipe offhand. It's been a minute, probably 30 years since I've made a bronze statue and patinaed it the old-fashioned way. But it's a corrosive cocktail that you apply, and you apply it very, sparingly. Like if you see a lot of the statues, there were a few I saw in Atlanta. I mean, we're thinking about Atlanta, and this graveyard where there were little angels that their faces looked like they were crying, and that was just the way that the rain kind of washed down onto the statues. It's kind of a cool effect. All right, getting close to. So we have this one. What else did I do? I need one more coat for this. So tedious to do that. Let me see. I'm going to do one more layer. Decisions. Did I do any with? Ooh, it'd be pretty is try that on a Shibu Ichi. So I have a little bit left here. Let's see what it looks like on Shibu. I'm drawing my brush. Let's see, there's a little bit left. Yeah, I worked fast enough. Sometimes I like to go in where it's a little more of one color than the other, and then I'll switch it. So I'm going to do a little bit on this side, and I'm going to wipe it really fast. I'm going to use a little bit more blue on this side. It's kind of that, what I like to call that the ombre. So I'm just trying to get in the cracks. This is a little bit thicker, so I think I just leave it a little bit longer, because you could get the same effect with the sanding sponge. Works pretty well. This is available as pewter if you're interested. We have them on the website. If you want to see our large collection of frogs, because it's pretty much my favorite animal, aside from Marty. Marty is the #1 favorite, but I like to carve a frog or a salamander. Let's just say that. There's no shortage there. I'm going to let that sit a second. Love it. It's coming out good. I've been listening to this book called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor. I'm about halfway through, and it's pretty interesting. It's talking about how important our how we breathe and how important it is to, there's all these different breathing techniques and how important it is to be able to breathe out of your nose and how bad it is to not breathe out of your nose. So this guy, this investigative journalist, decided to go on this experiment where he plugged his nostrils with silicone for an extended period. I want to say it was like 3 weeks or something, and then gauge the reaction of his body. And as you can imagine, plugging the nostrils up for any amount of time, even when you have a cold, you can tell, like, you have fatigue, you have headaches, there's all these bad things that happen. And it basically just reinforced everything we kind of already thought we knew about how breath works. And it's pretty interesting. I'm excited to get to the part where you have all these breathing exercises. My friend Sarah recommended it to me. She's a physical therapist in town. And she's always giving me helpful hints and tidbits. I have leftover grain, so I might as well use it. No need to be wasteful. Oh, yeah, breath work is so cool. Silicone in the nose? No, no, no. Yeah, he was like, I lost the will to live. And I was telling Greg about it, and he was like, I lived my whole life that way because he had an actual deviated septum in since he was like, I don't remember. I think he had some way that he had his nose broken, sliding into a tree. And he said it changed his life when he was finally able to breathe out of his nose properly, like the first time when he was 27. And it's really interesting how it can change. Like, it changed the shape of the person's face in this study, like how your chin would recede or come forward depending on whether you're breathing out of your nose or your mouth. If you had to breathe through your mouth, it was like your jaw went kind of inward to make more room for your mouth. It's so crazy. The first half of the book that I've gotten so far is talking about what cavemen and their skulls and different practices of breath work. Like the pearl divers. When my brother Dwayne went to the Philippines with my mom a few years ago, he told me that our cousins could pearl dive and could go down into the water for like, he told me it was like 5 minutes, and I was like incredulous, of course. I was like, there's no way. But he swears to it, so apparently you can train your body to withstand all kinds of, lack of oxygen. All right, let's do this one and see what it looks like. I'm gonna wait and do this. Carolyn, thank you. I feel that. Carolyn says those pieces are looking great with a paint color wash. I love it. I'm a big fan of doing this. I often make painted pieces and put them on necklaces for the table. I think they look good. And it's not hard. It doesn't take a long time. Just a little bit of patience. And it's something fun to do with the kids. Max will sometimes paint them with me. Azalea likes painting things. She likes to paint in pink.
Right.
That's giving that little bit of a highlight. And it's good because the bronze really looks pretty underneath. I mean, it looks good with pewter too, but I think it's with this piece particularly, it looks extra good. And I will seal this with a little bit more. I'll seal it, and then I'll put it in my polymer clay oven for 10 minutes at, I think it's, this one doesn't say if they put the glaze I had, the reason I started doing this is I had some paints from Martha Stewart where she recommended it. It was called, what were those paints called? They were for painting glass. Yeah, that looks really good. Check it out. So that's with the sanded off. Now you could do that with actual paint, but I think the metallic look looks pretty good. I need to do a little bit more on this side. Now this is for fingernails, so it's not, when I'm sanding this, it's very light abrasion. It is not an aggressive amount of sandpaper. You could use wet and dry sandpaper. You know what else works? I use it for metal, and I think of it like my secret sauce. It's like this. It's called a sanding sponge, and you cut it up. I cut it up into small little pieces, and I like it. I mean, it's so good. I use it for metal mostly, but it works good on this too. Oh, looks pretty good. Yeah, isn't that lovely? All right. Okay, so while today I did not have a live sale, I did have, what did I have? Let's see. Oh, I have a few things left over from that we counted up and saw that I had some leftover. I have one of these left. The other one sold last week. This is a gua sha, and no, this has the wrong thing on it, honey.
What thing on it?
This is $12. This is the wrong this is not $12. We'll find the right thing. I have some of these sapphires. So if you're interested, you just message me, GreenGirlStudios@yahoo.com, and I will get back to you. Be patient. I just realized that I probably have some stuff in my spam box. Oh, Melanie says I'm going to need that frog. I will have some of these. We'll probably put some on the website, because that might be easy. Because I think I'll do some painted ones. It'd be cute. All right, so I have these sapphires. I showed them before. I got a hold of some rainbow sapphires that were in my kit from Tucson that I was hanging on to make earrings. So I made earrings with those before, last week, I think. So if you want, I have, I think, 4 or 5 sets left. $18, you think? Oh yeah, $18. That's $5.43 if you're interested. You just email me if you're watching on replay, or you could put it in the comments section and we'll send you an invoice for them. But if you are not signed up with us on Facebook, or we don't have your email or anything, then we don't really have a way to get in contact. So if you know that you've never done any kind of with this, then drop me a message so I know who it is. All right. So that's if you want some sapphires, those make really pretty earrings. I have the sample. I'll just show these later with the sample. It'll be a little easier. All right, I'm gonna flip this around. Get Marty's little treat ready.
I can get the regular tag for the gua sha unless you want to.
Oh, it is already time, I think. Yeah, if you would like a gua sha, you could say I have one left. So if you've been waiting for that, now's the time. We've had a couple people ask about it, so I did not save the emails, but I should have. So when I'm talking about the gua sha, this is something I made. I had some that were, you could see them made out of stone or rose quartz, different materials. I carved this one to be like it's called the angel wing shell, and it has a comb effect so that it can get between the layers of fascia. That's the striations of muscle that nurture, that's a connective tissue, and it can get in there. And I use it all the time. Carry one in my pocket. I'll show which one's mine. This one, it has like the texture. You can see it's been rattling around in my pocket. Keep it in there. And I use it to scrape the palm of my hand and my face. And this side, if I'm stressed out, I don't know why this is useful, but I'll do this. And it's in my pocket. So then it has this kind of a deep, not deep texture, it's a pebbly texture that's pretty nice for that purpose. But I made this side to do, like, you put pressure, say you're getting a headache. There's other spots you can do, different parts of your face and your head. I'll scrape that along my scalp, and it's awesome. This side I'll use around my eye. I'll do a video and show you guys how to use it, but it's best to use with an oil. Kind of dry, not as good, but in my pocket, if it is dry, I will use it as a kind of a worry stone. So anyway, if you're interested, I have those ready to go in Shibuichi, and they are cast solid. They're not plated away. Okie dokie, let's flip this. And what my co-host is doing. He's been very patient, waiting for his treat, like a good cat should. We'll do this over. All right, my son, you have earned your churu treat. You're a good cat. He's really getting in there. That's like his natural. He acts like he doesn't get anything to eat, but he does. He's a big, healthy cat. Age 6. He's like, I didn't get it all. Here, you can go and make sure. Do an inspection. My darling. All right, my friends. So today we went over doing some colorful washes. This is a verdigris finish without the actual acidity chewing up your metal. That looks pretty good. You could even get a, more of a limey green. Here's a little teeny pearl scale goldfish. It's my modeled after my own pearl scale that I named Popo. It meant round in Hawaiian. That's what I learned on Duolingo anyway. Oh, he's like, where's more? Look how he does it. He's like, give me some more. Give me some more of that. Do we wash our brushes with water or acetone? I don't use any acetone. I make sure that my brushes never, well, I said I don't, but you'll get a little bit around the ferrule right here. You'll get a little bit, it's kind of hard to get it out. You could go with paint thinner, but I feel like that kind of chews up your brushes. I don't use acetone on them. I just clean them with water and soap. The key is to not let it sit and dry up. If you do let them dry up, then it's like you just made yourself a little rubber. I mean, you could probably use something to soak it, but the brush will never be the same. You might as well just, I get those packs of craft brushes and I go through them, I mean, I don't want to, I'm careful with my brushes. I don't want to sound like I'm a user of your brushes, but I'm kind of hard on brushes, and, sometimes you just got to use what you have. And these are pretty good. They're from, I can't even see, they're probably from Michael's or something. And just wash them out with water and soap. I just washed it out here and I got most of it. Now, if you don't do any of that and you just let it sit, they'll be kind of messed up. I mean, you try to fix them, but I don't know that it's worth it. Oh, Kathy says, love the show today. Thanks a bunch. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us. That was a real delight to spend this bit of the evening with you. I hope you had fun, and I would love to see what you guys make. Post it in the Green Girl Studios gang. I haven't been on there as much as usual. When the show season hits in the summertime, if I'm not hunting for a show, which y'all don't know, that's probably, it's, half the time is finding the shows, because a lot of times they're sold out and they book them, months ahead of time. I mean, that's just how it has to be. You book it for the amount of people, and if you go to it, you're already too late. So what we like to do is we make lists of the shows we want to attend, and then try to get them for next year. So we weren't able to get into the Honeybee Festival last year, but we will be at this one. And there's going to be at this on June 8th. It's Sunday. It's not this Sunday, but the next and it's 12 to 6. And there'll also be the 14th annual International Black Jar Honey Tasting Contest, which I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited about that. I would love to I want to try all the honey. I'm a big fan. I have every kind of honey. Not every kind, but I just love trying it. So I'm looking forward to that. So if you're in the area, Melanie, you said you might be around. I look forward to seeing you. Anyone else? Maybe we can have something happen. I don't know if we have time to catch dinner or something after the show, because if it's a Sunday, then I want to be hauling it and coming here to see y'all. So I won't be having dinner, but it would be nice to have if y'all wanted to come. So we'll be sending out, you know, letting everyone remember what time that's happening. But it should be fun. Should be a lot of music, honey tasting, honey products, candles. Carolyn says, did the Asheville Arts Center rebuild after the flooding? Asheville Arts Center. Asheville. I don't know what that's are you talking about the museum? Because they didn't have that much damage. They didn't really. I mean, there was a lot of damage in the River Arts, and the River Arts District is only one part of the arts here in Asheville. So there's the downtown, there's the South Slope. There's actually, all of Asheville has become one of it's why people want to come here, is because there's lots and lots of little pockets and neighborhoods. It's not just one area. There's West Asheville that was before the River Arts was popular. It was West Asheville. If you wanted to go to artsy, you go to West Asheville. Before that, it was downtown. So basically what happens is when the downtown gets too expensive, you go to another little neighborhood. Then you go to the next little neighborhood. So pretty much all the little neighborhoods are artsy. And, there's a lot to do. So, I think it's like every time I turn my head, there's something new that's popping up. So while there is damage, the things that a lot of people are not, you wouldn't even, there's a lot of places that are not going to come back, but there's also a lot of places that have come up since. So it's, oh yeah, your River Arts Studio stores. No, a lot of those were washed away. And so what ended up happening is they kind of relocated to different parts of town. So while there was the, what's that place called? Atomic Lounge is one that was in the River Arts District that was pretty cool. They have moved to the old Moog building, or next to the old Moog building where they built those synthesizers. Now there's something else in the Moog building, and that wasn't there before the hurricane. So that's something new that had a lot of the River Arts people are over at this place called Resurrection, or maybe it's Resurgence, some R name. But anyway, a lot of the people just moved. So while some were lost and they went and moved to Greenville or they moved to Charlotte, we did lose a few people. It's just weird. More people moved in. It's kind of crazy. I met a lot of people that were like, we moved here just as the hurricane hit. And I was like, wow, so, that's hard. So anyway, I will see y'all on Wednesday, and let's make something fun. Let's all make something fun and then, share it in the group and see what's what. All right, my friends, love you all out there. I hope you have a creative rest of your week. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.